tell me about the Brewers. What's it like being part of this organization? What do you like most about?
Best team in baseball, and they do it all pretty much with homegrown talent and little names. We're not going to have huge names. We're not going to sign big players, and they preach that right after the draft. It's like we're not going to go out and sign Shohei Ohtani. You know what I mean? We're drafting you guys because we truly think you can play in the big leagues for us, and you see that. Yeah, I know this is only year 2 or technically 3, I guess, for me. But you see like these guys, they just bring them up and they have success and they keep them up there, and they give them their shot.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to Milwaukee Brewers pitching prospect Ryan Birchard, fresh off a standout high A season and one of the most exciting young arms in the minor leagues. Ryan, what's up? How you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
Yeah, really good. Really good to catch up with you. What are you up to at the moment?
Right now, I'm kind of just starting to enjoy the off season. I've been hitting it hard since January, so really just got home the other day and I'm enjoying it. Just doing nothing, to be honest.
How's the body feeling?
First full season, just like normal, sore, like aches and all that, but I'm fine.
So for fans meeting you for the first time, how would you describe your game?
I think once I actually get on the field, I'm pretty locked in. I'm pretty serious. But even like off the field, and that means when I go in the dugout, I'm in the middle of a game, I'm joking around off the field. But I take things pretty light, but pretty serious when it needs to be taken seriously.
Coming out of Niagara CC, or the highest ever draftee, what was the feeling like for you? Did you feel like dreams starting to come true, everything going right?
Yeah, no. To be honest, it was quite a surprise how high I went. I thought it wouldn't have, I wasn't gonna go that high, but yeah, once it happens, it's it happens pretty quick. To be honest, we work hard for year after year after year, and it's done. It happens, and that's kind of it. But yeah.
Have you got a map for yourself? Do you set goals? How's things working out so far?
In the minor leagues, it's you can set goals for yourself, but at the end of the day, you can't really, move yourself up, down. You know what I mean? It's not really your decision, but every year, I'll sit down and I'll write a couple of personal goals down, and just something to work towards throughout the year. But yeah.
What's the biggest shift from college to pro ball for you?
It's definitely the routine of doing it every day. You may think you could do it every day, but you'd be lying, and I'd be lying, and anybody you talk to would be lying if they said they'd love to do it every single day. You're one day off a week, you're away from home for 9 months. Some people out, different country, different part of the country. But yeah, it would just be the everyday grind. It's honestly pretty tough.
You pitched across Rookie A, High A, and the Arizona Fall League in quick succession. So what has this journey taught you?
You just gotta give it time. Everything works out. My last year I got hurt. I didn't have the best season, but this past year I would say I did pretty well. So I would say you can't really let one bad season or a couple bad outings really define who you are, because you could turn that around pretty quickly.
Is there any teammate or coach who stood out for you, who's been super helpful on your journey?
Michael O'Neill. He was my pitching coach in Carolina, pretty short because I got hurt, and then all year this year, and he does a great job. We've built a friendship, I would say. Because he's been the only guy I've been really listening to in my pro career. But definitely him. He sticks out for sure.
Which player do you most look up to on the Brewers? Who's the gold standard?
So, to be honest, I wouldn't say I really look up to anyone. I'm really trying to do my own thing. And that's not saying I don't look at like how people act or I watch a lot of interviews. Every time I see an interview, I kind of watch whoever it is just to see kind of how they talk, what questions are being asked and how they handle it. But when it comes to playing, I wouldn't say I really look up to anybody. I'm just trying to do my own thing.
Have you done a lot of interviews? What's the most ridiculous thing you've been asked?
I'm not gonna lie. Everything's usually pretty much the same. When it comes to interviews like this, I haven't really had any crazy. I haven't had any crazy questions yet. I'm honestly hoping for something crazy in the future because I kind of like just crazy, just like where'd you come up with that? But to be honest, it's just normal stuff so far in my career.
I've interviewed a lot of different athletes across a lot of different sports. I don't know if you know Nate Diaz, but he was in the back once complaining about just cookie cutter questions, and it's difficult not to ask, who do you want to fight next? But as far as you're concerned, as a ball player, what's the one thing that you never get asked that you think people should be asking?
That's a tough question. I don't know. I don't know. That stumped me. I'm sorry. I don't know. I don't know what people should be asking. Yeah, I don't know. I think sometimes when people ask questions about when they're talking down on other teammates, I think those are pretty ridiculous questions. But I can't. I don't know. You stumped me there, kind of. Sorry.
What about yourself? Because, a lot of fans, they only see you on game day, right? They don't see the hard work that went into that, the journey, the person, So what's one thing about yourself that you would like people to know beyond how well you throw baseball?
Kind of going back to what I said earlier, is just I take life pretty light, to be honest. I'm always joking around. I'm always gonna try to get a laugh. Make people laugh. I'm always willing to laugh. Especially in the dugout with the other starters this year. We had a good group. Show up every day, kind of do everything together. Kind of fool around a little bit in the dugout. But that's kind of me. Talk a lot. Yeah. I'm pretty chill. Yeah, but when it comes time to go out and perform, it is my dream. So it's time to perform, man.
Take us through your August 28th outing. 7 hitless innings, 8 strikeouts. What clicked for you that day?
Well, I was throwing a lot of strikes. Sometimes that can get I can walk a lot of people. If you look at the numbers, you'll be able to tell. But I don't really know. I was pretty upset, wearing those uniforms. I don't know if you saw the uniforms, but there's something. I don't like wearing my pants up high, so that really it didn't get to me, but I was like, all right, this kind of make me mad a little bit. But then, I went out there, felt good, warm-ups, and, I was honestly pretty upset the first couple innings. I didn't have any strikeouts, so I was just like, I was pretty mad. They weren't hitting the ball. Well, they were, but it was into the ground, and I couldn't get any strikeouts, and that's I like strikeouts. But as the game went on, started getting the strikeouts, had a couple good defensive plays behind me, and, I guess it just happened, to be honest.
Those uniforms are wild, I must say.
Yeah, they're okay.
Yeah, but do you have a special feeling in the morning? You someone who gets into a flow state and you're gonna kill it that day?
Sometimes, to be honest, sometimes I feel like I wake up and I get like a feeling of kind of just locked in kind of throughout the day. It's just at the apartment. I wake up, kind of do what I do every day. I just make coffee, watch the games from the night before, like the quick games, and listen to music until I leave, and then I show up to the field, just kind of hang out with the guys for a little bit, and start getting ready for the game. And I would say sometimes I do get a feeling that I might have a good day. Yeah.
You were named Midwest Pitcher of the Week. Does that give you a boost?
Everybody is congratulating me and all that stuff, but to be honest, in my mind, I'm just doing my job. I expect that for myself every week, to be honest. So yeah, I'm just going out there and trying to do my job. I don't like to think it's that it's cool, but I'm just doing what I'm getting paid to do, to be honest.
What does your routine look like? Is it the same every time? Can you walk us through it?
Throughout the week or start
Yeah,
day?
just walk for game day.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like I said, I'm going to wake up, make the coffee. I got an espresso machine. I like to do that. It's kind of like therapeutic for me. It's a pretty new thing. Just kind of hang out. I don't do anything too crazy. Like I said, I'll listen to music for a while at the apartment. That kind of calms me down. I just hook up to the speaker, play music, watch baseball, show up to the field, hang out for a couple hours. Then about 2 hours before a game, I have to be out there to throw. I'll start moving around, and it's pretty. I'm pretty light and joking around up until I start playing catch, and then I get nervous. I do a little bit, but I would like to think when I don't get nervous, I'm more nervous about the outing. And then from there, I just go out there and try to go as deep as I can into the game and not walk a lot of people.
So when you're watching baseball, who are the coolest pitchers to watch, in your opinion?
I'm gonna say some like crazy names because they're not all on the Brewers and they're lefties sometimes. I love watching Sean Manaea. I don't know why. I just love watching him. I think Hunter Brown on the Astros is fun to watch because I'd say it's kind of similar arm slot. I'm pretty over the top. I do like to watch Walker Buehler. But yeah, those are just a couple names like that. I really try to aim for guys like with like the same arm slot or arsenal as me, kind of see how they navigate certain hitters.
If you had to write a scouting report on yourself, what's your weapon pitch?
To be honest, I'd say that the fastball. I want to throw a lot of fastballs. Yeah, I like to think I can throw them all and everybody's gonna swing at them, but sometimes it doesn't work out that way. But if I had to say, I'd say just kind of like the heater's coming, so just you got to hit it.
What are you working on sharpening up at the moment?
Definitely got to cut down on the walks. I had more walks than hits given up this year. It's horrible. So definitely got to I can't be walking that many people. So that's definitely the goal. Goal number one this off season: come back and spring training, starters camp. Definitely cut down the walks.
How do you balance improving without overthinking mechanics?
Yeah, so there was a couple of times, I'd say like 2 times throughout the year, where like I wasn't feeling right on the mound. Velo's down right now, and I was just kind of like, people aren't really hitting it still, but the velo's down, so I'm like, I know I can do, I'm gonna get through, but I'm not getting through the way I want to get through, and like I try to like change mechanics like for a game, and that just didn't work at all. So I mean, the way I kind of think about it is like, I can work the 5 days in between my start, like that can be all whatever, trying new things. But once the game starts, you can't try to, get people out, hold runners on, manage a game and try to like fix you can't. It's just, for me, it's impossible. So like I said, throughout the week, I'll work on stuff. Once it comes game time, I'm just trying to get people out and go deep into games.
So tell me about the Brewers. What's it like being part of this organization? What do you like most about the franchise, and what about the fan base and everything else?
Well, I mean, best team in baseball. And they do it all pretty much with homegrown talent and, little names. We're not going to have huge names. We're not going to sign big players. And, they preach that right after the draft. It's like, we're not going to go out and sign Shohei Ohtani. You know what I mean? We're drafting you guys because we truly think you could play in the big leagues for us. And, you see that. Yeah, I know this is only year 2 or technically 3, I guess, for me. But you see like these guys, they just bring them up and they have success and they keep them up there. And, they give them their shot is what I'm saying. Everybody gets their shot. If, in the minor leagues, if you're doing your job, you're going to get your shot. And, I think that's a great organization to be a part of. You just, kind of giving everybody the shot. And if you stay, you stay. You don't. I guess that's part of the business. But, like I said, people are getting a chance.
How do you deal with the mental side? Do you tell yourself you're the best? You know, because most athletes I interview, that they believe that they're the best in the world. Do you have that kind of wild self-confidence? And what's your biggest dream in this sport?
Yeah, I mean, I do. I mean, I think everybody, you can't think someone's better than you. I think if you think someone's better than you, you're pretty much already, you're beat. You beat yourself mentally. So I think I do think pretty highly of myself. And, I want to play in the big leagues, in a couple of years. So, I think I know what I need to work on and improve to get there. I think I have some big league characteristics now. So, I'm just trying to, put those things I need to work on and, kind of keep what I have together, and hopefully, we'll be there in a couple of years.
You said you don't necessarily look up to any players, but is anyone on the Brewers who just is an awesome example for young players?
I'd say everybody. I mean, a lot of the pitchers, a couple of them, I know personally, just because, they were in the minor league side in spring training a year ago. And like I said, they got their chance, and now they're up there and staying up there. But I think the Brewers do a great job with not letting people get too big of a head. They almost knock you down a little bit if they think you're getting too cocky. But I would say you could probably look at everybody on the Brewers, and you should probably act out the way they're acting. They handle their players very well.
What are your goals for the season? And when it's said and done, what would constitute a success for you?
Obviously, I'd like to start. You want to move up in level, so hopefully, be starting Double-A, cut down the walks, keep the strikeouts up. Don't give up too many hits and home runs, and you got to be out there to you got to stay healthy. So a healthy season is always honestly at the top of that list. But yeah, I'd say those things.
So if we have a chat in 2 years' time, what do you want to have achieved by then?
I would hopefully debut by then, at least. What role it is, starter, reliever, long relief, whatever. I mean, I'm trying to get there. I'll do whatever kind of they tell me to do. But right now, starting, I'm going to go with that. But like I said, if you were to talk to me in 2 years, hopefully you'd be talking to a big leaguer at that point. But, we'll see.
100%. Well, you got the skills, right? And you got the mentality. That's all you need.
I hope so.
We'll wrap up with a quick fire. What's your pregame ritual outside of coffee?
I'm just hanging out. I'm watching baseball with the guys. I'm just talking. I used to play a lot of spike ball until someone broke the spike ball net, so we stopped playing that. But spike ball.
That's the best, dude, especially on the beach. Favorite pitch?
When it's working, curveball.
Is there an MLB pitcher that you study most?
I wouldn't say I don't study anybody too much, no.
Toughest hitter you faced so far?
Kevin McConaughey.
Best ballpark food in the minors?
I'm just going to say hot dog because, why not? Yeah.
Old classic. And dream ballpark to debut in?
Somewhere in the Northeast. Being from New York, I would like my parents to get there pretty quick.
And song or hype playlist right now for you?
Me and my friend Mark Manfredi have a pretty good, I like country music, so we got a pretty good country music playlist. So, I'm listening to that every day for sure.
Who's one teammate who always cracks you up?
Travis Smith.
And what's your go-to post-game meal?
Usually whatever they have at the field for us, but if I had to make it, I'm kind of not famous. I'm famous on the team for making chicken cutlets. So I'd say I'd make that.
Who's the hardest worker in the MLB?
I don't know. I think they all work hard.
Yeah, I imagine. And if your teammates were to describe you in one word, what would it be?
I'd say funny.
This is an amazing trait to have.
Yes.
Awesome. Ryan, it's been a pleasure. Wishing you all the best for the season and the years to come. Hopefully we get to catch up again in the future. But go out there and kill it, man. Thank you so much. Respect.
We'll do. Awesome. Thank you. Have a good one.